Before the bye week, your number 4 ranked University of St. Francis football team traveled to Davenport University and took a commanding 28-0 lead into the half en route to the 35-6 victory. A great way to finish off the regular season heading into postseason play.
You know, I'm never surprised. I believe in our players and our team so much. And when we're hitting on all cylinders and we're playing hard, nothing would surprise me. I think Davenport's an outstanding football team. They're going to do well in the GLIAC. Obviously, they have a university that's committed to excellence. I know how they scholarship and the aid that they put into it. I know $118 million facility. Not many Division II programs have that.
It was a beautiful facility, and the Cougars remained focused. Capping off the exciting first half was outside linebacker Marcus Stepp, who recorded his first career interception that led to an Akeem Kelsall touchdown.
Great football player. We recruited him. I said he's got to be an impact player. He just happened to play the position where Spencer Cowherd is, who's a great player. Now Spencer's had a little injury issues off and on all season long, so that's got Marcus on the field. And when we go to our 3-4 package, you know, he's on the field anyway. So then we have both of them out there. So, you know, he's a guy you want out there as much as possible.
For the first time since Austin Coleman, who's the NAIA leader in kickoff returns for a touchdown, graduated, the Cougars are now ranked in the top 10, averaging 23.8 yards per kickoff return attempt, mostly due to the efforts of Justin Green, who ranks number 13, averaging 27.1 yards per return.
Well, there's no question about it. I think Justin came into camp this year. He wasn't really in shape. He had some work to do, and he's gradually working his way into it. He's a great young man, and putting him back there as a deep guy on that kickoff return is a real weapon. You put the ball in his hands and he can make a big play happen real fast.
Davenport won the time of possession, which led to 93 total tackles for St. Francis, while limiting the Panthers to just 3.7 yards per play. Defensive tackle Christian Johnson is just another reason why the Cougar defense is hard to run by.
Yeah, and again, it goes back to number one priority, stop the run. Don't give up the big play on the back end. Stymied to run pretty well. Yeah, they hit some conversion plays and so forth, but they had to get out of the pocket because of pressure, which is, you know, what we're going to have to deal with this first round of playoff. Well, Christian is a wonderful addition to our football program. We recruited him 4 years ago out of Indianapolis and thought his upside was huge. And he has become a great defensive lineman. He is a great student. He is a great person. And we are very privileged at USF to have had Christian Johnston amongst us in this football family.
We truly are grateful. It would have been easy for Christian to play football at Marian University, seeing how he grew up right by the campus and has a brother who attends the school.
I think that's probably why I didn't play there, because it was so close. I live like 1 block away from Marian, so you know I could walk there. I go to the gym that's right around the corner from there, you know, and I've been over there my entire life, you know, and so my biggest thing was that I just wanted to get out, you know, just experience somewhere new. Because I mean, in Indianapolis, you know, there's Indianapolis and then what's around Indianapolis, you know, like not really a whole lot. There's I-69 North and then that's it. So I was like, okay, yeah. So I checked out the football team and they were like, hey, yeah, you can come play for us. So I took that and I was like, okay, yeah. And now I'm here, my last year.
On the field, Johnson is that first line of defense. Standing 6'2" and nearly 280 pounds, he frees up players like Pearson Harnish and Eric Dutton, who combined for 34 tackles against Davenport, to fly around and make those tackles. Just another reason why the Cougar D has been close to dominant.
So, like you said, Harnish's numbers are ridiculous. They really are. He's an athlete, and so is Dutton. And I have the utmost faith in everybody that we have on our defense. They're incredible athletes and great players and friends. And I think that we took a lot away from 2 years ago when we had a losing season. I think we were 6-4 or something like that. And we really came back that next year. So last year, really just focusing down, buckling down like our drills, our fundamentals, everything that we needed to get done in order to have a solid defense. And I think a lot of that carried over from last year to this year with a lot of the young guys who got playing time, but they maybe didn't start this year. They had that experience. They had that reinforcement of skill and all that they needed to get to this point the season. And when it comes to interior D-line, there's no one I'd rather have on my side than Himmelgarn. He's huge. He takes up a lot of. I owe a lot of my own stats to him because he'll take 3 guys with him that way, and all I have to do is beat one, and that's easy enough. We do that every day. So we just go through the line and make a couple plays and hope that you don't let him down for all his hard work. He's really a martyr on the inside. And it's not just me. It's not me. It's not Himmelgarn. It's not. It's Schwartz and Jamesic. And everybody else on the inside that really I know. Like I said earlier, I feel confident that if I went down, Schwartz would be able to pick up the slack easy. That he's just a good player. Or if Himmelgarn went down, everybody. I feel like it's more than just our capability. It's the capability of our backups who are able to support us when we're wavering, or if we need a break. We don't have to worry about somebody else or our sub not doing their job. And so I feel like that's really where our strong point comes, is our prowess and our depth.
The prowess of defensive end Lucas Sparks has been an inspiration for Johnson, as the two seniors are putting together a memorable season.
We call him the QB hunter. He's a really good athlete. Especially for being a fifth-year senior, you would expect him to be, dialing it down a little bit, but his numbers only seem to get better, And it really was nice back in my end days when I was about 30 pounds lighter. I would, look to Sparks, and he'd do all these fast pass rush moves and all that, and I really appreciated that. I really looked and tried to study him. I want to play one day, So why don't I just look at the people who are playing? Look at the people who are good. I took a lot of notes from Jazzy Jeff Jones and how he handled interior. I realized that a lot of it can be done with a lot of fast, strong movement. You could be like Himmelgarn and be really big and tough and just move people off the ball, but I don't have that kind of strength. I had to admit, not quite as strong as Eric, but. So I had to rely on a little bit more speed, a little bit more, finesse on the inside. And I guess that comes from when I was playing end. And so watching Lucas, clear half the field, juke 9 guys to get a sack, So I feel like watching that kind of stuff, watching what he does can really benefit everybody on the team. He's a really good, outstanding leader by example, and I feel like it's really important that people understand their leadership types. And it wouldn't feel right if Lucas was in the room, rah rah, this and that. I think it's better that you watch Lucas, you see him, he's doing his work. He never complains about his work. He just does his work and does it to the best of his ability, and I think that really benefits everybody.
Johnson, a 2-year starter for the Cougs, is very happy with his decision of winning football games here at USF while working on his degree in animations. The correlation between the two is hard work. You get out of it what you put into it.
The tricky thing with that is that art is really, it comes down to what you do in your off time, how much you learn in your off time. It's definitely given me the principles and everything I need to know about animation. It gave me the foundations to work with animation, and then allowed me in my free time to actually improve in the ways that I need to. There weren't really any other schools in Indiana that did animation. So there was Ball State, Huntington, and St. Francis. And I was like, well, St. Francis offered me money, so I might as well do that too. and I get to play football, which is definitely a good thing. It's taught me a lot.
The life lessons learned through football, accompanied with the education he's acquired in the USF Animations program, has Christian ready to tackle life after football.
So I definitely think I could compete, and I think that a lot of it comes down to how you utilize what you've learned in class. So you can't just learn something in class and let it sit in class and then wait until next class to use it again. Like, take what you learned in class, the fundamentals, the principles, and you take them to your own work outside of class. That's where the fun stuff is. Like, that's where the things you care about are. But my favorite, personal favorite, is character animation. And so I took a 3D animation productions course, and that was where it was that and a mix of my character animation class that I produced a small piece. It's about 5-6 seconds, but it's, I think, some of the best animation that I've ever made in those 5 or 6 seconds. Like, I've made a 3-minute animation before, and I've made things like that, but I think the 5 seconds that I made were the best 5 seconds that I've ever animated, because I get the character acting, I get the I learned a lot from that process. I made it look real. I made it feel real, you know? I compared it to like industry standards, so movies and things like that. And I definitely feel like it just has one word in it, and it's a person asking hello. But I felt like I really got that. I really want to, after the season's over, just buckle down and create a whole bunch of work all the time, just to really get it, so I can have something to show off, you know, party tricks.
And the Cougs hope to show off this Saturday in round number 1 of the NAIA Football Championship Series, as the number 4 ranked University of St. Francis hosts number 11 Missouri Valley, whose only 2 losses on the season came to number 2 Baker and number 10 Grandview. And their quarterback, Jake Bridges, 5'9", 180 pounds, he can scramble.
They're an outstanding football team. They have traditionally been an outstanding football team through the last several decades. They have a quarterback that's mobile. When he gets out of the pocket, he's a real threat. They run scramble drill very well. You know, our defense is going to have a real challenge to contain him. He'll make plays, scramble around, taking 5-6 seconds to get the ball out of his hand, because he is quick and he is an athlete, and they build their offense around him.
I can't say it's pleasant. When you run through and you're like, okay, cool, I got past the hard part. What you would think would be the hard part is getting past, you know, the O-line, and then you have somebody who's just faster than you are. Like, there's not really a whole lot you can do about it at that point, except for just try to chase him, hope he slips up. It really comes down to, I think we rely on our outsides and our ends a lot in this to keep him inside and contained, especially for me and Eric. We really have to rely on them being able to, so we don't have to chase him. So he can't run outside. He can't run up the middle. There's only so much room, you know, and we're probably going to catch him there. I think it becomes less of if we can keep him from scrambling, if we can keep him from using his speed to his advantage, we can probably end up really making him one-dimensional and just shutting him down just when it comes to just about everything.
They play good, tough defense. They attack you. They're going to stop the run first, keep the ball in front of them, similar to what we do. And they find a way to win. They got a great coach in Paul Troth, and going to be a great matchup in round 1.
So the postseason begins this Saturday, 12 p.m. at Bishop Darcy Stadium. But for Christian Johnson, the message remains the same.
Definitely just focus on the task at hand. Focus on, like, it's about breaking it down into its smallest parts. Doing your job, making sure you're fundamentally sound. Don't worry about other people's job. We're told that all the time. Just hold yourself accountable. Be responsible for your own work. And if you do that, then as a whole, it'll all come together. Don't get caught up in the hype, I guess, of the postseason. You made it to the postseason. You're trying to go to the national championship just like everybody else, you know, all the other 16 teams, or 15 teams. But at the end of the day, if you don't handle the business at game one, you're not going to make it to that last game, you know? And so that's really what I would have to say. Just focus up. Don't get your head in the clouds yet, you know? Like, you're not there. You're still on the ground. So let's just, work on making sure that we take care of what we need to take care of.